chosen one, prepare for the meeting, because they may come without warning, and when they do, you may not have time to become calm, wise, grounded, and clear in that moment. You have to become that before the moment arrives. This is not meant to scare you. This is meant to wake up the part of you that already knows something is moving. Maybe you have felt it in your body. Maybe you have seen it in your dreams. Maybe a name, a memory, a place, or a conversation keeps rising in your mind without explanation. That is not random. Something higher has been preparing you before the encounter reaches your life. But listen carefully. This meeting is not only about them. It is not only about what they will say, what they want, what they regret, or what they offer. This meeting is about whether the version of you that survived the silence is finally ready to stand without begging, without proving, without shrinking, and without handing your peace back to someone who has not earned access. They are coming, but this time they will not meet the old you. And before you try to guess who it is, before your mind starts running through names, faces, old conversations, missed calls, broken promises, and unfinished chapters, I need you to slow down inside. Because this message is not asking you to panic. It is asking you to prepare. There is a difference between fear and preparation. Fear makes you rehearse disaster. Preparation makes you return to your center. Fear says, "What if they hurt me again?" Preparation says, "I will not abandon myself again." Fear says, "What if I do not know what to say?" Preparation says, "My silence can be holy when my spirit is clear." So please listen to this carefully, not casually, not while your mind is scattered in 10 different directions. Let the words settle, because by the end of this message, you will understand why the meeting is coming, what signs have already been appearing around you, what you must not do when they arrive, and how to recognize whether this is a door, a test, a closure, or a divine appointment. You will also learn why your body may have sensed this before your mind could explain it, why the delay was not rejection, and why the person who comes toward you may not be the real center of the meeting at all. The real center may be you, the version of you that is no longer willing to trade peace for attention, the version of you that can love without losing discernment, the version of you that can listen without surrendering power. Stay with this until the end, because there is something you need to hear before that door opens. Some of you have already been feeling the first sign, but you did not know what to call it. It is the strange return of a memory that does not feel like nostalgia. It is not that you want the old season back. It is not that you are trying to reopen the wound. It is more like something from that season keeps rising in your awareness, almost like a file being pulled from a shelf you thought was closed forever. A name comes to your mind while you are doing something ordinary. A sentence someone once said returns with unusual clarity. A place you have not thought about in months suddenly appears in your memory. A person you released begins to show up in your inner world, but not with the same emotional hunger as before. That is important, because obsession pulls you backward. Preparation pulls you inward. If the memory is pulling you into desperation, that may be your wound speaking. But if the memory is making you quiet, observant, and unusually alert, your spirit may be picking up movement before anything has happened in the physical world. This is why you cannot immediately interpret every returning thought as a desire. Sometimes a returning thought is not an invitation to chase. Sometimes it is an instruction to prepare your posture. The second thing many of you may notice is the dream pattern. You may dream of doors, rooms, tables, roads, old houses, unfamiliar hallways, people from your past, or faces that feel known even when you cannot clearly identify them. You may wake up with the feeling that something was said to you, even if you cannot remember the words. You may wake up with heaviness, clarity, or a strange sense that a conversation already happened somewhere deeper than your waking mind. Do not force the meaning. Do not become anxious. Do not turn every dream into a prediction. That is not wisdom, But also do not dismiss what keeps repeating. A single dream can be the mind processing emotion, but a repeated pattern can be a signal. A repeated atmosphere can be preparation. A repeated doorway can be the spirit showing you that you are approaching a threshold. And thresholds are serious, because a threshold is not only where something begins, it is where something must be left behind. The third sign is emotional pressure without an obvious trigger. You may feel fine one moment, and then suddenly a wave of sadness, stillness, tension, or expectation moves through you. You may feel like something is about to happen, but you cannot prove it. You may feel the need to become quieter, more private, more careful with your words, more protective of your energy. This is where many chosen ones misread themselves. They think, maybe I am anxious. Maybe I am overthinking. Maybe I am being dramatic. Maybe I am making something out of nothing. And yes, sometimes the mind can exaggerate. Sometimes old wounds can create false alarms. But there is another possibility. Sometimes your inner life becomes sensitive before your outer life changes. Sometimes your spirit notices movement before your eyes see evidence. Sometimes the pressure is not punishment, it is preparation. If you have felt a sudden need to clean your emotional space, reduce noise, stop explaining yourself to everyone, pull back from draining conversations, and become more intentional with what you allow into your mind, do not ignore that. That may be part of the preparation, because the meeting that is coming may require a version of you that is not scattered. It may require a version of you that does not react just because someone knows which old wound to touch. It may require a version of you that can stand in front of history and not become a prisoner of it. Another sign is that old patterns are becoming strangely visible. You may suddenly understand why you used to over-explain. You may suddenly see why you kept accepting crumbs and calling them hope. You may suddenly recognize why certain people had so much power over your mood, your decisions, your self-worth, and your peace. This is not happening to shame you. This is happening because you cannot walk into a new meeting with an old blindness. There are things you tolerated before because you did not yet know your value. There are things you chased before because you thought closure had to come from the person who confused you. There are rooms you stayed in too long because you thought leaving meant you failed. There are conversations you kept reopening because you believed one perfect explanation would finally make them understand. But now you see it differently. You are beginning to understand that not every person who hears you is listening. Not every person who returns is ready. Not every apology is transformation. Not every open door is alignment. Not every emotional moment deserves immediate access to your life. That is not bitterness. That is discernment. And discernment will matter when they come. Because at the surface level, this meeting may look like one thing, but underneath, it may be something much deeper. At first, you may think they are coming to apologize. And maybe they are. You may think they are coming to explain what happened. And maybe they will. You may think they are coming to restart something, offer something, ask something, confess something, or finally say the words you once wished they had said when your heart was still wide open. And maybe some of that will happen. But that is not the deepest meaning. The deepest meaning is not what they bring in their hands. It is what their arrival reveals in your spirit. Do you still become small when they appear? Do you still feel the need to prove that you are worth choosing? Do you still confuse emotional intensity with spiritual confirmation? Do you still hand someone access because they finally showed up with words you wanted years ago? Do you still let the past walk into the room and take the seat that belongs to your peace? This is why the meeting matters. It is not only a conversation, it is a mirror. It will show you whether you have healed in theory or healed in truth. It will show you whether your boundaries are words you say when you are alone or a reality you can live when your emotions are touched. It will show you whether you want the promise more than you want alignment. It will show you whether you have become anchored or whether one familiar voice can still pull you out of yourself. And I need to say this with care. Not everyone who comes without warning is coming to harm you. Do not become suspicious of every person. Do not turn discernment into fear. Do not close your heart so tightly that even a genuine divine connection cannot reach you. That is not wisdom either. The goal is not to become cold. The goal is to become clear. Clear enough to recognize an apology without worshipping it. Clear enough to receive a blessing without clinging to the person who brought it. Clear enough to forgive without reopening a door that was closed for your protection. Clear enough to listen without giving away your authority. Clear enough to know the difference between a person sent to restore peace and a person sent to test whether you still betray yourself. That difference will protect your future. There is also a reason this meeting may come suddenly. If you had too much time to rehearse, you might prepare a performance instead of a posture. You might build a speech instead of building stillness. You might decide ahead of time what they must say, how they must act, what they must feel, and what the outcome must be. But sudden moments reveal the truth of formation. A cup only spills what it is carrying. When pressure comes, it does not create what is inside you, it reveals it. So if they come without warning, the question is not, why did this happen so fast? The question is, what has silence been building in me all this time? Maybe the silence taught you not to chase. Maybe the waiting taught you not to force. Maybe the heartbreak taught you not to ignore what your spirit already knows. Maybe the loneliness taught you that your presence is valuable, and not everyone deserves unlimited access to it. Maybe the delay was not keeping you from the meeting. Maybe the delay was making sure you would not lose yourself when the meeting came. And this is where the message becomes serious. Because some of you are not only preparing for a person, you are preparing for a decision. You are preparing for a door. You are preparing for a conversation that will require maturity. You are preparing for a moment where the old version of you would have reacted immediately, but the new version must pause and listen deeper. It may come through a message that looks simple. It may come through a call you did not expect. It may come through an invitation that feels ordinary on the outside, but carries weight on the inside. It may happen in a public place, through a mutual connection, through a work opportunity, through a family conversation, or through someone suddenly appearing after a long silence. But however it comes, remember this: you are not required to respond from shock. You are not required to answer from guilt. You are not required to become available just because someone finally decided to approach. You are not required to reopen your spirit just because history knocked on the door. There is a sacred pause available to you, even if the moment arrives suddenly. Inside that pause, you can ask one quiet question: what is this trying to pull out of me? Is it pulling out peace, wisdom, truth, and alignment? Or is it pulling out panic, old attachment, fear, and the need to be chosen? That question will slow the old pattern down. That question will help you hear what your emotions are too loud to explain. That question will remind you that your first responsibility is not to manage their feelings. Your first responsibility is to remain faithful to what has been formed in you. And before we go deeper, there is one more thing you need to understand. A meeting can be sent for closure. A meeting can be sent for confirmation. A meeting can be sent for redirection. A meeting can be sent for restoration. A meeting can also be allowed as a test. And the only way to know the difference is to stop asking only, "Do I feel something?" You must ask, "What fruit does this produce in my spirit?" Does it produce peace or confusion? Does it produce clarity or obsession? Does it produce humility or desperation? Does it produce courage or the old hunger to be validated? Because the thing that is sent for you will not require you to abandon yourself in order to keep it. And the person who is truly aligned with your next season will not need you to become smaller so they can feel comfortable standing beside you. That is why the next part matters so much. Because now that you understand the signs, now that you understand the pressure, now that you understand that this is not just about their arrival, you need to understand why they are being allowed to come now, not last year, not when you were still begging for clarity, not when you would have accepted anything just to avoid the pain of silence. Now, there is a reason the timing shifted. There is a reason the door is moving. There is a reason the memory returned. There is a reason your spirit became alert before the moment arrived. And when you understand that reason, you will stop being afraid of the meeting. You will realize that it was not delayed to punish you. It was delayed because the old you might have mishandled what the new you is finally ready to face. Because the old you might have mishandled what the new you is finally ready to face. And that is not an insult to who you were. It is a mercy. The old you was not foolish. The old you was wounded. The old you was trying to survive with the light you had at the time. The old you did not over-explain because you had no dignity. You over-explained because you thought if someone finally understood your heart, they would stop mishandling it. The old you did not wait too long because you had no value. You waited because you believed love, loyalty, and patience could eventually soften what was never willing to become honest. So do not shame the old version of yourself. That version carried you through nights the new version now gets to learn from. But understand this, chosen one. The meeting was delayed because the old version of you would have confused arrival with alignment. They could have returned with one soft sentence, and you might have opened the whole door. They could have apologized with tears, and you might have forgotten to ask whether their character had changed. They could have offered you something you once prayed for, and you might have ignored the way your spirit felt uneasy while your emotions felt excited. They could have stood in front of you with the right words, and you might have mistaken familiar pain for divine confirmation. That is why timing matters. The delay was not empty. The silence was not wasted. The waiting was not a punishment. It was formation. You were being taught how to hear without chasing. You were being taught how to feel without obeying every feeling. You were being taught how to love without surrendering your discernment. You were being taught how to forgive without handing someone the keys to your inner world before they proved they could be trusted there. And now the question is not, why did it take so long? The question is, what did the delay build in you that you did not have before? Because the meeting that would have broken you in one season may now become the meeting that confirms your growth. There is a story that carries this pattern deeply. Joseph did not meet his brothers again while he was still bleeding from the pit. He did not face the people who betrayed him while his identity was still trapped in the pain of what they did. There was a long road between the betrayal and the meeting. There was the pit. There was the false accusation. There was the prison. There was the hidden season. There was the waiting. There was the strange silence between the promise and the proof. And only after Joseph had been formed into someone who could carry authority without revenge did the meeting happen. That matters, because if Joseph had met them too early, pain may have spoken louder than purpose. If he had met them too early, revenge may have felt like justice. If he had met them too early, his wound may have tried to make decisions that only wisdom was qualified to make. But by the time they stood before him, he was no longer just the brother they rejected. He was formed. He was positioned. He was carrying a kind of authority that did not need to scream to be real. And that may be why your meeting was delayed too. Not because you were forgotten. Not because your tears meant nothing. Not because the higher intelligence guiding your path was ignoring your prayers, your confusion, your loneliness, or the questions you asked in the dark. It may have been delayed because you were still becoming the version of yourself who could stand in that moment without collapsing back into the identity they once knew. I hear this in my spirit for someone listening right now. Do not meet them as the person who used to beg for clarity. Do not meet them as the person who thought being chosen by them would prove your worth. Do not meet them as the person who had to explain the wound to the one who made it. Meet them as the person who has already been held, already been formed, already been taught, already been strengthened, and already been reminded that your peace is not a small thing. Because when they come, they may not understand what they are walking into. They may remember the old access. They may remember the old tenderness. They may remember the old version of you that answered quickly, forgave quickly, explained endlessly, carried more than you should have carried, and made room for people who were not making room for your soul. but they do not know what the silence did to you. They do not know what the waiting stripped away. They do not know what the loneliness taught you. They do not know how many times you almost returned to the old pattern, but something inside you whispered, "Not this time, not this time, not this time." And that is why the first thing you must understand is who may be coming toward you, because not every arrival has the same meaning. Some arrivals are closure. Some arrivals are confirmation. Some arrivals are assignments. Some arrivals are tests. And if you do not know the difference, you may treat a test like a promise, or treat a promise like a threat, or treat closure like an invitation to reopen what was already completed. So listen carefully. The first kind of person who may be coming is the returning person. This is someone connected to an unfinished chapter. It may be someone from your past, someone who left without giving you clarity, someone who misunderstood you, someone who hurt you, someone who watched you walk away and only later realized what your presence carried. They may come with an apology. They may come with curiosity. They may come with regret. They may come acting casual, as if the silence between you was nothing, as if the wound was smaller than it was, as if time alone should erase what was never honestly addressed. And this is where you must be careful, because sometimes the heart hears a familiar voice and calls it destiny. Sometimes the nervous system feels old intensity and calls it a sign. Sometimes the part of you that wanted closure for so long becomes tempted to accept any version of return as evidence that the story was meant to continue. But a return is not always a restoration. A message is not always maturity. An apology is not always transformation. And regret is not always readiness. The returning person may be coming so you can finally see them clearly. Not through hope, not through fantasy, not through the version of them you defended in your mind, but through the fruit of who they are now. Do not ask only, did they come back? Ask, what came back with them? Did humility come back with them? Did accountability come back with them? Did consistency come back with them? Did peace come back with them? Did respect for your boundaries come back with them? Or did the same confusion arrive wearing softer clothing? That question will protect you, because some people return because they have changed. And some people return because the version of you they once had access to is no longer feeding them from a distance. Some return because they were led. Some return because they are lonely. Some return because they are ready to repair. Some return because they feel you slipping out of emotional reach. That is why you cannot make the arrival the proof. You must look for the fruit. The second kind of person who may be coming is the assigned person. This may not be someone from your past. This may be someone you have not met yet, or someone who has been near your life but has not been revealed in their full purpose. They may come through work, through a conversation, through a recommendation, through a chance encounter that feels too precise to be random, through a door you did not force open. The assigned person does not always look dramatic. Sometimes the person sent to help you enters quietly. Sometimes the person carrying a key does not look like the kind of person your ego expected. Sometimes the one connected to your next season does not flatter you, does not chase you, does not overwhelm you, and does not make your emotions explode. They simply bring clarity. They bring peace. They bring confirmation. They bring a sentence that opens something. They bring an opportunity that fits your growth. They bring language for what you have been carrying but could not explain. This is why you must not judge the meeting only by emotional intensity. The right person may not activate chaos. The right person may activate peace. The right door may not make you panic with excitement. It may make you feel deeply steady. The right connection may not feel like a storm. It may feel like a room where your nervous system finally stops bracing. And some of you need to hear this. You have been trained by pain to expect destiny to feel dramatic. But sometimes destiny feels clean. Sometimes alignment feels quiet. Sometimes the most important person who enters your life will not pull you into obsession. They will help you return to yourself. So when the assigned person comes, do not dismiss them. because they do not resemble the pattern you used to call love. Do not overlook them, because they are not wrapped in the emotional chaos you used to mistake for depth. Do not reject the door because it opens gently. Peace can be a sign too. Clarity can be a sign too. Safety can be a sign too. Mutual respect can be a sign too. And if someone enters your life and their presence does not require you to perform, shrink, panic, chase, or betray your inner knowing, pay attention. That may be the meeting you were not expecting. The third kind of person who may be coming is the testing person, and this one requires the most discernment. A testing person is not always evil. They are not always an enemy. They are not always trying to destroy you. Sometimes they are simply the instrument through which your growth becomes visible. They may say the thing that used to trigger you. They may offer the thing that used to tempt you. They may ignore the boundary you said you had. They may act familiar in a way that makes the old version of you want to respond automatically. They may bring urgency when your spirit is asking for patience. They may bring emotion when your wisdom is asking for time. They may bring pressure when your peace is asking for space. And in that moment, you will see what is still unhealed, what is still hungry, and what has truly changed. This is not to make you afraid. This is to make you aware. Because a test is not always sent to expose failure. Sometimes a test is allowed to reveal strength. You may discover that the words that once broke you no longer control you. You may discover that the person who once had power over your mood can no longer move you out of your center. You may discover that you can hear an apology without becoming dependent on it. You may discover that you can feel emotion without making a decision from emotion. You may discover that you can care deeply and still choose wisely. That is growth. And growth is not proven when everything is calm. Growth is proven when something familiar tries to pull you back, and you do not go. This is why the meeting may come without warning. Because suddenness reveals what rehearsal can hide. Anyone can sound healed in private. Anyone can declare boundaries when no one is testing them. Anyone can say they have moved on when the past is silent. But when the name appears, when the message arrives, when the person stands there, when the opportunity returns, when the conversation begins, when the old feeling rises in your chest, that is when you see what is real. And here is the deeper truth. The meeting is not about them. It never was only about them. You thought the question was, have they changed? But the deeper question is, have you changed? You thought the question was, will they finally understand me? But the deeper question is, do I still need them to understand me in order to be free? You thought the question was, will they choose me? But the deeper question is, have I chosen myself enough to stop begging for a seat in places that cannot honor my spirit? You thought the question was, are they sorry? But the deeper question is, am I still building my peace around their ability to say the right words? You thought the question was, is this the door? But the deeper question is, can I stand in front of a door and wait for alignment before I walk through it? That is the twist. This meeting is a mirror. It will reveal whether your healing is something you talk about or something you can live under pressure. It will reveal whether your boundaries are real when someone emotional stands in front of them. It will reveal whether you have confused compassion with access. It will reveal whether you can forgive someone and still let the season stay closed. It will reveal whether you can receive a blessing without worshipping the messenger. It will reveal whether your spirit is governing your response or your wound is still driving the conversation. And for someone listening, this is the sentence that may settle everything. I delayed the meeting until you could survive the truth. Not the fantasy, not the version you created in longing, not the story your loneliness kept editing. The truth of who they are, the truth of who you are, the truth of what happened, the truth of what can be restored, the truth of what must remain closed, the truth of what is being offered, the truth of what is being tested, the truth of whether this meeting carries peace or simply the old pattern wearing a new voice. Because truth is not always loud. Sometimes truth is the quiet discomfort you feel when everything looks good on the surface, but your spirit refuses to rest. Sometimes truth is the peace you feel when nothing about the situation is dramatic, but everything inside you feels clean. Sometimes truth is the grief of admitting that someone came back, but not with the fruit required for access. Sometimes truth is the humility of realizing that the person you judged too quickly was actually sent with a key. Sometimes truth is the courage to say, "I will not answer from the old wound." And now you need something practical, because when the meeting comes, emotion may rise faster than wisdom if you do not have an inner place to stand. This is where you must learn the sacred pause. Not a physical pause where you must do something dramatic, an inner pause. A pause no one else may even notice. When the message arrives, when the name appears, when the invitation comes, when the person speaks, when the old emotion rises, do not let your first feeling become your first decision. Let there be a quiet space inside you, even if it is only 3 seconds. Even if all you can do is take one steady breath and return to the deepest part of yourself. In that inner space, ask one question. What is this asking me to become right now? Not, what do they want? Not, what will they think? Not, how do I make this comfortable? Not, how do I prove that I am healed? Ask, what is this asking me to become right now? Is it asking you to become honest? Then do not hide. Is it asking you to become patient? Then do not rush. Is it asking you to become silent? Then do not explain. Is it asking you to become courageous? Then do not shrink. Is it asking you to become discerning? Then do not hand out access, because the moment feels emotional. That question brings you back to your assignment, because the meeting will try to pull you into their energy if you are not anchored in yours. If they come with urgency, you do not have to become urgent. If they come with confusion, you do not have to become confused. If they come with emotion, you do not have to let emotion become the driver. If they come with history, you do not have to let history become your master. If they come with an offer, you do not have to answer before your piece is spoken. Chosen one, you are allowed to take the sacred pause. You are allowed to not know immediately. You are allowed to say less than your old self would have said. You are allowed to let someone sit with the truth without rushing to soften it for them. You are allowed to protect the version of you that took so long to rebuild. And no, that does not make you cruel. Boundaries are not cruelty. Clarity is not pride. Silence is not punishment. Discernment is not fear. A slower response is not rejection. Sometimes, a slower response is the only way your wisdom can catch up to the weight of the moment. So if they come without warning, remember this inner command. Return to the throne before you answer the door. Return to the place inside you where your worth is already settled. Return to the place where you are not begging, not performing, not defending, not chasing, not collapsing. Return to the place where you can say, even if this person misunderstands me, I will not misunderstand myself. That is the threshold pause. It is not about delaying everything forever. It is about refusing to let shock become your leader. Because some meetings are lost in the first few seconds, not because the wrong thing happened, but because the old pattern answered before the healed self could speak. This time, let the healed self arrive first. Let the steady self arrive first. Let the discerning self arrive first. Let the version of you that survived the silence arrive first. And when that version arrives, the entire atmosphere changes. You will not need to dominate the conversation. You will not need to prove your growth. You will not need to punish them with coldness. You will not need to impress them with how healed you are. You will simply be different. And difference has a sound. It sounds like calm where panic used to live. It sounds like fewer words where over-explaining used to spill out. It sounds like peace where the old wound used to beg. It sounds like truth without trembling. That is what they are coming to meet. They may think they are coming to meet the person they remember. They may think they are coming to meet the one who waited. They may think they are coming to meet the one who would always make room. They may think they are coming to meet the version of you who could be moved by a little attention, a little regret, a little emotion, a little promise. But they are about to meet the result of the hidden season. They are about to meet what was formed when no one clapped. They are about to meet what survived when no one understood. They are about to meet what grew in the dark while they thought nothing was happening. And this is why you cannot fear the meeting. You must respect it. Fear says, "What if I fail the moment?" Respect says, "I will enter the moment awake." Fear says, "What if they still have power over me?" Respect says, "I will see the truth without surrendering my authority." Fear says, "What if this changes everything?" Respect says, "If it is sent for my future, it will not require the death of my peace." That is the posture, not suspicion, not desperation, not revenge, not fantasy. Posture, a clean spirit, a steady center, a willingness to hear the truth, a refusal to abandon yourself, because the meeting may come as closure, and if it does, you must be willing to let the ending be holy. The meeting may come as confirmation, and if it does, you must be willing to receive without panic. The meeting may come as redirection, and if it does, you must be willing to obey peace over preference. The meeting may come as restoration, and if it does, you must be willing to move slowly enough for trust to have a real foundation. The meeting may come as a test, and if it does, you must be willing to pass quietly. Not every victory needs an audience. Sometimes the victory is that you did not send the long message. Sometimes the victory is that you did not reopen the door. Sometimes the victory is that you listened, blessed them internally, and still chose peace. Sometimes the victory is that you did not confuse being wanted with being valued. Sometimes the victory is that you finally understood the difference between a person returning to your life and a person being aligned with your life. That difference is everything. And now that you understand why they are being allowed to come, who they may be, and what the meeting is really revealing, the next thing you must learn is how to speak when the moment arrives. Because words can open doors. Words can close doors. Words can reveal peace. Words can expose panic. Words can protect your future. Words can also give away access too quickly. So before this message is complete, you need to learn how to answer without over-explaining, how to set a boundary without becoming harsh, how to receive an apology without surrendering your discernment, and how to stand in the meeting as the version of you they have never truly met before. Because they may come without warning, but your spirit does not have to answer unprepared. And that preparation begins with what you say next. Because when the meeting comes, your words will matter. Not because you need a perfect speech, not because you need to sound powerful, not because you need to prove that you have healed, but because words can open doors that should stay closed, and words can close doors that were sent to open. Words can reveal peace, and words can reveal panic. Words can protect your future, and words can give away access before wisdom has had time to speak. So when they come without warning, do not let surprise make you careless. The old version of you may have believed that honesty meant saying everything. The old version of you may have thought that if you explained every wound, every detail, every reason, every feeling, then finally they would understand. But sometimes too many words become a bridge back into a pattern you were delivered from. This does not mean you become silent out of fear. It means you speak from a clean place. There is a difference between silence that hides and silence that protects. There is a difference between words that reveal truth and words that beg to be understood. There is a difference between a boundary spoken in peace and a boundary spoken from pain, and you need to know the difference before the meeting arrives. So here is the rule I want you to carry in your spirit. Say enough to be truthful. Say enough to be clear. Say enough to keep your peace intact. But do not pour your whole inner world into hands that have not proven they can hold it with reverence. When the message comes, when the call comes, when the person stands before you, when the opportunity is suddenly placed in your path, You do not need to answer like someone being chased. You do not need to answer like someone trying to win approval. You do not need to answer like someone who must make a decision before the atmosphere changes. You can answer from stillness. And if you do not know what to say, remember this simple inner structure. First, acknowledge what is in front of you without surrendering yourself to it. Second, speak the truth without turning your heart into a courtroom. Third, set the next step without apologizing for needing peace. That is enough. If someone comes with an apology, you do not have to punish them, and you do not have to immediately restore access. You can acknowledge the apology. You can recognize the weight of what was said, and you can let time reveal whether the words have roots. If someone comes with an opportunity, you do not have to reject it from fear, and you do not have to accept it from excitement. You can acknowledge the door. You can ask for clarity. You can allow peace to confirm what pressure is trying to rush. If someone comes with confusion, you do not have to become confused with them. You can hear them. You can remain steady. You can refuse to let their uncertainty become the government of your spirit. If someone comes with emotion, you do not have to let their emotion become your assignment. Compassion does not mean carrying what belongs to someone else. Love does not mean abandoning discernment. Kindness does not mean giving unlimited access to anyone who knows how to sound broken. Chosen one, your tenderness is sacred, but your tenderness needs truth around it. Your compassion is beautiful, but your compassion needs boundaries around it. Your heart is deep, but depth without discernment can become a place where the wrong people keep taking water without honoring the well. This is why you must not over-explain when the meeting comes. Over-explaining is often the old wound trying to earn safety. Over-explaining is often the inner child trying to finally be believed. Over-explaining is often the part of you that still thinks peace will come when someone else admits how much they hurt you. But real peace does not wait for another person to become honest. Real peace begins when you stop betraying what you already know. So if they come, and you feel the old urge to pour everything out, pause inside. Imagine your words standing at a gate. Not every word needs to leave. Not every feeling needs to be handed over. Not every memory needs to be opened. Let the gatekeeper inside you ask, will this word protect my peace, or will it give my power away? That is the mental action. Before you answer, picture a quiet gate inside your chest. Behind that gate is your peace, your dignity, your future, your healed self, your spiritual authority. And when words rise in you, do not throw the gate open. Let each word pass through wisdom first. If the word comes from fear, let it stay inside. If the word comes from panic, let it wait. If the word comes from revenge, let it be purified. If the word comes from truth, peace, and clarity, let it pass. That is how you speak when the meeting comes. Not from performance, not from shock, not from the old hunger to be chosen, from the gate of wisdom. And once you understand your words, you must check your spirit. Because sometimes the most dangerous thing is not what they say, it is what they awaken in you. They may awaken the part of you that misses being wanted. They may awaken the part of you that still wants the story to make sense. They may awaken the part of you that wonders if maybe this time will be different. They may awaken the part of you that wants to ignore the evidence because the emotion feels familiar. And this is why you need the clean spirit check. Before you respond deeply, ask yourself 3 quiet questions. Am I about to answer from peace or from fear? Am I about to open this door from clarity or from loneliness? Am I about to give access because there is fruit or because there is history? Those 3 questions will tell you more than the emotion of the moment. Because emotion can rise quickly, history can speak loudly. Chemistry can feel spiritual when the nervous system remembers intensity. But peace has a different sound. Peace does not pressure you to rush. Peace does not require you to abandon your own knowing. Peace does not make you feel smaller. Peace does not ask you to betray the version of yourself that took so long to rebuild. So if the meeting comes and everything in you feels frantic, do not treat that as confirmation. Treat it as information. Something in you is being touched. Something old is being awakened. Something needs to be seen before it is obeyed. And if the meeting comes and you feel quiet, grounded, sober, and clear, do not dismiss that, because it is not dramatic. Sometimes the holiest confirmation is not excitement. Sometimes it is steadiness. Sometimes it is a calm knowing that does not need to scream. Sometimes it is the absence of panic. Sometimes it is the feeling that you can say yes or no without losing yourself either way. That is clean. That is sacred. That is the kind of state you must protect before the meeting. And this is why, for some of you, preparation will not only be spiritual, it will also be mental. Your mind has been under pressure for a long time. The noise, the overthinking, the old emotional patterns, the constant scanning for what people mean, the weight of unfinished conversations, the exhaustion of trying to hear truth through fear. It becomes heavy. And earlier, I told you there was something connected to the state of your mind before a sacred decision. This is where that matters. There is a brain state connected to clarity, focus, intuition, and those sudden moments when everything seems to connect. Scientists often associate this with higher frequency brain activity, especially gamma. And for many chosen ones, the painful part is that you can feel there is a deeper intelligence inside you, but under stress, it becomes covered by fog, fear, and emotional noise. That is why I never want you to walk into a sacred meeting with a scattered mind. Prayer matters. Discernment matters. Boundaries matter. And sometimes, the right tool can support the state you are trying to return to. There is a 7-minute audio called The Genius Song, designed around brain entrainment and gamma activation. I do not present it as magic. I do not present it as a replacement for wisdom, prayer, healing, or honest decisions. I present it as a tool for those who feel led to support their mind in returning to clarity, focus, and a deeper inner state before important moments. The original price is $49, but for viewers of this message, it has been reduced to $39. You also receive the bonus materials that come with it, and it is backed by a money-back guarantee, so the risk is removed if you feel it is not for you. If your spirit feels drawn to explore it, the information is in the description and the pinned comment. Do not search random places for copies, because there are imitations that use the name without the original technology or the included bonuses. Use only the link connected to this message if you want the original version, and if it does not resonate, that is okay. The deeper message remains the same. Do not enter the meeting scattered. Do not enter the meeting starving. Do not enter the meeting with your mind full of noise and your spirit full of pressure. Enter prepared. Enter clear. Enter clean. Because whether you use a tool or not, the true preparation is this. They must not meet the version of you that abandons itself. They must not meet the version of you that turns one message into a whole fantasy. They must not meet the version of you that confuses being wanted with being valued. They must not meet the version of you that accepts emotional words without observing consistent fruit. They must not meet the version of you that becomes small just because someone familiar walks into the room. They must meet the seer in you, the one who notices patterns, not just promises. They must meet the truth carrier in you, the one who does not bend reality just to keep a connection alive. They must meet the bridge in you, the one who can love people without crossing back into places that no longer honor your spirit. They must meet the spiritual warrior in you, the one who can stand in peace without becoming hard and stand in truth without becoming cruel. That is who you are becoming. You are not becoming cold. You are becoming clear. You are not becoming distant. You are becoming discerning. You are not becoming selfish. You are becoming faithful to what was formed in you. You are not becoming impossible to love. You are becoming impossible to manipulate. And that difference matters. The old you may have thought love meant immediate access. The new you understands that love without wisdom can become a doorway for repeated pain. The old you may have thought forgiveness meant pretending nothing happened. The new you understands that forgiveness can release the debt without restoring the same access. The old you may have thought peace meant avoiding hard conversations. The new you understands that peace sometimes requires truth spoken calmly. The old you may have thought being chosen by someone else would finally prove your worth. The new you understands that your worth was never waiting in their hands. This is what they are about to meet. Not the person who begs, not the person who chases, not the person who performs, not the person who over-explains, not the person who panics when history knocks. They are about to meet someone who has been refined in the hidden place. Someone who learned that silence can be protection. Someone who learned that delay can be development. Someone who learned that not every closed door is rejection. Someone who learned that peace is not boring. Peace is the sound of alignment. And when that meeting happens, remember this. You do not need to control the outcome. You only need to stay aligned. If it is closure, let it close cleanly. If it is restoration, let it rebuild slowly. If it is confirmation, receive it humbly. If it is redirection, follow peace, even if your emotions need time to catch up. If it is a test, pass without announcing that you passed. You do not have to post about it. You do not have to prove it. You do not have to make them see how much you changed. Changed people do not need to perform change. They carry it. You will carry it in the way you pause before answering. You will carry it in the way you listen without collapsing. You will carry it in the way you tell the truth without hatred. You will carry it in the way you allow your peace to be more important than the old need to be understood. And now, before this message ends, I want you to picture something inside your mind. Do not move your body. Do not do anything outwardly. Just let the image form inside you. Imagine a quiet room within your spirit. In the center of that room, there is a table. On that table is your peace. Not as an idea, but as something sacred, something alive, something that took years, tears, silence, loss, and growth to recover. Now, imagine the door to that room. Someone may knock, a message may arrive, a name may appear, an invitation may come, a conversation may begin. But before anything enters that room, you stand inwardly at the door and ask, does this come with peace, truth, humility, and alignment? If it comes with pressure, it waits outside. If it comes with confusion, it waits outside. If it comes with manipulation, it waits outside. If it comes with old access but no new fruit, it waits outside. But if it comes with peace, accountability, clarity, and respect, then you do not have to fear it. You can open slowly. You can listen wisely. You can respond cleanly. You can let the meeting be what it is, without forcing it to become what your wound wanted it to be. That is your inner instruction. Guard the table. Guard the peace. Guard the version of you that was built in silence. And if this message is speaking to you, write this in the comments so your spirit remembers it. I will meet them in peace, not in panic, not in performance, not in desperation, not in the old wound, in peace. Because peace is not weakness. Peace is authority under control. Peace is the throne inside you, remaining occupied by truth. Peace is the proof that the meeting did not catch your spirit unprepared. And when they come, chosen one, do not be surprised. Do not be afraid. Do not become the old version just because the old chapter touched the door. Let them meet the one who survived. Let them meet the one who learned. Let them meet the one who no longer confuses access with love. Let them meet the one who can bless and still walk away. Let them meet the one who can listen and still discern. Let them meet the one who can forgive and still choose wisdom. Let them meet the one who can receive and still move slowly. Let them meet the one who no longer needs to be chosen by the wrong thing in order to feel chosen by what is sacred. The meeting may come without warning, but you are not without covering. You are not without wisdom. You are not without preparation. Something higher has already been working in you before anything appeared around you. The signs were not random. The pressure was not pointless. The delay was not wasted. The silence was not empty. You were being formed for the moment when the door opened, and the old version of you did not have to answer it anymore. So, walk in prepared. Walk in clean. Walk in peace. And when the meeting comes, let your spirit remember this one truth. They may come without warning, but this time, they will meet someone who is ready.